we overlook the fact that our bridles really need to be adjusted properly so that they're comfortable for our horses. If you think about it, we have a piece of metal in their mouth, so it's really, really important to make sure that everything fits properly so that your horse is comfortable. Hello, today's video is all about bridle fit and helping you to check and make sure that your bridle is fitted and adjusted properly for your horse to be comfortable. And this is such an important thing. You know, we have all the time, we have saddle fitters coming and we're making sure that our saddles are fitting properly and that our saddles are sitting straight. But often we overlook the fact that our bridles really need to be adjusted properly so that they're comfortable for our horses. If you think about it, we have a piece of metal in their mouth. We have all this tightness around their TMJ and their poll. So it's really, really important to make sure that everything fits properly so that your horse is comfortable. And this is such an important part of being able to get your horse round and supple and soft and establish a steady connection. Before we get started, I want to thank Lumiere for sponsoring today's video. Lumiere makes probably my favorite bridles of all time. This is one of their snaffle bridles that Kensington here is wearing. I love these bridles because they are designed with the horse's comfort in mind, and they're really ergonomically shaped. I'm going to talk a little bit more about why that's important. Plus, they're beautiful and affordable. They have really nice leather quality, and they're in that price range that is affordable. So please click the link below, head over and check out the Lumiere bridles. They have a lot of selections that I know will look beautiful on your horse. So to get started with this video, I'm actually going to take off his bridle and show you from the beginning about how I put on the bridle and then how I make sure that everything is adjusted properly so that my horse can be supple and soft and round in the connection. Okay, so step one is before you put your bridle on, especially if you have a new bridle and you have no idea about the adjustment, what I like to do is I kind of just hold it up like to the pole and to the bit and just kind of eyeball like, is it at the right length? And that's going to save you a lot of moving the bit around once you get it actually on your horse. So you can tell if I have it up here at his pole, it more or less hangs where his lips will be. Of course, we'll want to check again once we put the bridle on. Then to bridle your horse, it's super important. I really always like to teach my horses to put their head down to accept the bridle. I usually keep the halter around just in case they were to get spooked or rush off. You want to always put the reins around your horse's neck first. Again, this is just a security thing in case for some reason something spooked your horse or they were to rush off, that you still have control of them. Ask your horse to lower their head by putting pressure on their poll. And then I usually have one hand up here on their poll. To get the bit in their mouth, you want to actually put your thumb through the ring finger here, and then you just gently put your thumb in the corner of your horse's mouth to help them open their mouth. Lift up with your hand on the top, and then make sure that when you put the crown piece over your horse's ears, you want to point your horse's ears forward like that and then slip the bridle on. You don't want to bend your horse's ears. Your horse's ears are very sensitive. So next, once we have the bridle on our horse, what we want to check is a couple of things. So the first thing that you want to check is you want to make sure that your bridle up here, that it's not pushing against your horse's ears. And what I really like about these Lumiere bridles is that they have a little bit of a cut back here for the ears. And so that's just a lot more comfortable. These Lumiere bridles also have gel padding underneath the crown piece here for even more comfort for your horse. Then the second thing that you want to look at is you want to make sure that the brow band isn't too tight. If the brow band is too tight, and also if there's a lot of buckles right here, this is your horse's TMJ joint. So this is the joint that basically connects your horse's jaw to their skull. So we really don't want anything pushing on that TMJ joint. So if you look at some of the older style bridles like this, they actually have the throat latch goes underneath the crown piece. And so this is a lot more pressure on your horse's poll area. And so you really, what's super nice about these bridles is, again, the gel padding, and that it's just one piece up here. So you don't have this extra piece that could be pulling down and adding uneven pressure on your horse's poll. Okay, so step 2 is the noseband. And what we want to look for with the noseband is that we want the noseband to be just a couple of inches below your horse's facial crest. So this bone here, that's their horse's facial crest. So just a little below that, but high enough that it's still on the bony area. So you don't want your noseband so low that it's on the soft part of your horse's nose. And you also don't want your noseband so low that if you take contact with your bit, that it's going to be pinching there. And there is so much debate about nosebands. If you show in dressage, at least right now, who knows if that rule will change, but you are required to have a noseband on your horse. And when it's adjusted properly, the noseband can actually help to stabilize your horse's jaw and to stabilize the connection. If you have a horse that likes to open their mouth a lot or twist their jaw around, sometimes that can make the bit really unsteady, which is uncomfortable. And sometimes horses will even put their tongue over the bit, again, which is very uncomfortable. Okay, so then I'm gonna just tighten up the noseband here. I don't make it too tight. So, you should be able to put a few, that's maybe a little too tight. So you should be able to put your fingers underneath of the noseband like that. But again, it's just enough that it stabilizes. So if your horse goes to gape their mouth, that they feel just a little bit of pressure there. And again, if you notice the design of this noseband, it has this nice cutout here. So that means that when I take contact, that I'm not going to be pinching him. And it's nice and thick and padded. So once we have the noseband, I'll put the flash on here too. Again, just loose, but there. Next, we want to check and make sure that the bit is the proper height in your horse's mouth. If your bit is too low, I can actually show you that. So if your bit is too low in your horse's mouth, and I see this a lot when I go and teach clinics, one of the most common things I see is that people's bridles have stretched and they haven't checked their bridle fit. So that's another tip. Make sure to check your bridle fit every couple of months because leather will stretch a little bit. Okay, so you can see, look here now. See how the bit is hanging way too low in his mouth? And it almost would be hitting this tooth here in front. And notice what's happening. So see how he's fussing with his tongue? He actually just put his tongue over the bit once. See him put his tongue over the bit? So that's incorrect height for your bit. And if your bit is adjusted too low like this, it's going to be uncomfortable for your horse. So make sure when you check the bit length, I guess we'll call it, that I like to have just one little wrinkle there in your horse's lip. Right here above the bit, you want to have just one little wrinkle. And that's kind of how you know if your bit is adjusted properly. And like I mentioned, that's checking in with your bridle fit is something that honestly it's something that I kind of do without thinking every single day when I put my bridle on, is that I just kind of check and say all right, is the bit adjusted properly? How's the noseband looking? And then the final thing that you want to look at is from the front. You always want to take a little front view and make sure that your brow band is even, that your noseband is even. And again, it is so important that you have a bridle that properly fits your horse so that your horse can find that nice, soft and steady contact. I mean, when you think about it, it's, we have a piece of metal in their mouth, which can't be really comfortable. So we always really want to think about riding from your leg through your seat to a forward feeling hand. And then the more that we can get our horses to accept the soft contact, the better. Once again, I'd like to thank Lumiere for sponsoring today's video on Bridle Fit. And I know I've met with the owner. She's lovely and she's so passionate about creating bridles that are comfortable for our horses and affordable for you. So if you're in the market for a bridle, check out the link below, head over to their website. They have a ton of different styles and selections and colors and sizes that I know will look beautiful on your horse. And for me, they're just a great mix of, I know that my horses are comfortable in these bridles, they last a long time, they look beautiful, the leather is good quality, and they're not going to take up your whole paycheck. So thanks for watching, and make sure to check in with your bridle fit. Be sure as well to like and subscribe. I post a new video every single Wednesday to help you out with your riding and with your horse.